He's drumming. Right. Hello everyone, anyone that's here. I'm just letting Discord know that I am live. Let's put a general chat thing out. There we go. Let's put it in other Discord. And let's put it in Tesseract 1 because I never go in the Tesseract 1. Sorry, Tesseract Discord. Right. And we shall see if anyone comes to the party. Let's get started with a song. Let's do that one. Oh, it's not going to work, is it? That might work though. Oh, but I can't hear myself talk. Oh, that's annoying. Cubase isn't working at all. That's awesome. Hello. Hi, fan. You have to let me know how this all sounds because I'm using my lapel mic instead of the Shure mic, and if it sounds like arse, then I will change it. But if it sounds okay, then I will keep it. I'm just loading up Cubase again because hey, it works. All right. Music. Let's go. Hello everyone. What are we saying today? I just moved this mic in place and it's not even that mic. This is the little microphone I'm using. So I'd love you guys to let me know if you think it sounds good or shite compared to the normal voice. We can do a little A/B. Do you want to hear what it normally sounds like? 1 second. Normal microphone. Hello. Other microphone. Way more convenient with that microphone in my face. Is the audio considerably better or worse? Probably a bit worse because it's just a tiny little thing. But interested to know what you guys think. Also, you can definitely hear me hitting the toms and things if I don't turn this thing off. So I've got to remember to use my little foot switch down here. But let us know what you think, because it is obviously a bit better without this giant thing in my face. What are we saying? 1, says Dark Drum. Well, that's not helpful. Let me know. Well, you developed a speech impediment with the Shure. I mean, yeah, I did. The Shure is better. 2, says Nikki plays guitar. Okay. That's 1. This is 2. Okay, so we're talking at the moment. Hello, everyone. Hello. We're talking... Oh, shite, that's both of them. Hello. Waiting for phantom power. Right, that's the Shure mic. Sounds okay. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. Microphone 1, alright? Turning microphone 1 off. Switching to microphone 2. Which is going to be really clacky and noisy for you guys. Microphone number 2. What are we saying? Let's get a vote. Any preference for any preference. We've got some 1s, we've got some 2s. I'm kind of easy. No? Okay, fine. I'm going to keep talking on here until you guys say, go to the other one. You sound terrible. So, I've had a kind of a crazy week. It's been good, but it's been a week that we didn't expect. Because we've had like just disruptions all week, which I don't particularly mind. Well, I do mind. Disruptions are a pain in my arse. If I had lots to do this week that was like locked in, I'd have been stuck a little bit. But I'd built a bit of flexibility into my schedule. And we had like a load of electrical work done to the house a couple of weeks ago. And the electrician had to come back to change something about it, which is fine, but it meant that we were out of power for like another day basically. So me and my wife have spent a load of time outside, like sorting the outside of the house out, just like things that are like, you know, you're supposed to do them, but you don't necessarily do them unless you live in an HOA place and then they make you do it. But we've had like, there's this porch, this screening porch at the back of our house. We've wanted to switch that around for ages, so we did all that. And it's now real nice. It's such a nice place to be. It's so nice. I just ate some food out there before this stream and it's, oh man, it's gorgeous. So we did all of that. And then yesterday I was getting started with work. I was just hit like my flow and all the power went out. And I'm like, oh, come on. Like some bullshit is going on here. And as it turns out, a tree limb had come down like 2 houses up the road and just taken out the power cable. And I thought, like, for God's sake, something's happened with this new power stuff that we've had done to the house. So that was a whole thing. So we were without power for another few hours. And like when that happens in the middle of the day, it just messes up the entire day. At least it does for me, because I get into a really good flow with what I'm working on. And I didn't get into that flow. But tell you what I did do. It's not live yet, so I can't show you. But now that I've recorded the content for my masterclass, the second round that I'm working through with people now, we're fine-tuning things for people. So what I'm able to do is, like, people want a different view for the notation, for example. So we're creating a whole separate different voicing style for the notation, let's call it that, because there's not like one defined way to write drum notation. So like, well, let's provide a couple of ways that people have a choice between which one they use then, and like whichever makes the most sense to them. So we've been doing that, and we've been separating all of the exercises into individual MIDI files. That's the job. so that people can load them up in their door. Rather than one giant file, they get separate exercise files, which is like way more useful. So we've been doing that. And I wrote a script for and recorded and did the notation for and the MIDI, and I edited the first lesson of a new course. Ha! Yes, it's my first step in the direction of providing more regular subject-specific drum courses for you guys, because I've got a lot of individual lessons and a lot of individual grooves and like notation play-along things, and they're good if you are already quite good at the drums and you can just tune in and choose one that you want to work on. If you're trying to learn that stuff and understand a bit about it, you need some guidance, right? So rather than just choosing one at a time, I'm providing the structure, and not only that, I'm delivering it in a weekly format, like the masterclass. So we've been going, we've got 5 lessons dropping over the next 4 weeks, and I'll have it all recorded up front. But the idea that's worked really well with the masterclass is dropping things on a weekly basis so that it doesn't create overwhelm. It gives you a manageable amount of stuff to work on each week. So this course, the first 2 lessons of it are dropping on Monday. It's called syncopation made simple. Right, syncopation in drumming is when you've got anything that's odd timed. You've got a snare in any place that isn't a 3 in a 4/4 bar, for example. And I touched on this. I taught it in quite a bit of detail in the masterclass, but I wanted to provide a kind of a singular route that's a short little thing that people can dip into, and I'm making it. So that'll be live, or the first bit of it will be live up on jpostones.com on Monday, this coming Monday, and then for the next 3 Mondays after that, there'll be another lesson that's added to that course so that we get the full 5 lessons. And then there'll be another course that drops after that. So that's going to be the structure that I'm focusing on moving forward. I think that's going to work quite well. I hope it will work quite well anyway. So if you're interested in going and checking that out, make sure you've got you can get a free trial on jpostones.com to go and check it out before it drops on Monday. James Monteith is messaging me now. There we go. You can leave me alone. You guys have been talking quite a bit. What are we saying? Can you show me how to play 30-second notes? There's just a lot of them in a... you have to be able to play really, really fast. If you're thinking about 30-second notes, like you got 16th notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, to a quarter note, and then that'd be a 30-second note. And if you speed up the tempo, then everything gets faster. And there comes a point with 30-second notes where, like, it depends on the time signature that I'm using. If it's 4/4, it's probably going to be let me think about this, which way around this is. If it's 4/8, chances are it's going to be 16th notes or even 8th notes. If it's 4/4, it might be 30-second notes if you're playing really quick. But there comes a point where it's easier for me to double up the metronome than to try and jump up to another faster subdivision, if that makes any sense. For the drummers that are in the room who understand this stuff. Hussein, what were you saying? Can I explain the part at 7:28 in War of Being? I assume... I can't find that bit easily. I assume you mean this bit. LOL! 1 minute. Let me actually play it right. difficult is what's going on. I did actually record a whole section on that part for people in my masterclass. And without having all of the assets in front of me, it's really difficult to explain what's going on because I can't just recall it from memory. I know that pattern in my mind. In terms of the theory of what's going on, I need some kind of asset in front of me to be able to talk you through it. But I can tell you, it's all 4/4. Like I'm just hearing 4/4 metronome, dick, 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 dick through all of that. The pattern repeats 3 times. You go. It's like there's a pattern that matches up roughly with what the guitars and the bass are doing, but what the guitar and bass are doing, it doesn't kind of loop exactly in time with the metronome. It's like displaced each time, and then over the top of that, you've got a displaced dotted. I can't remember if it's dotted or triplet against the quarter note, but there's a dotted pattern, I think. But that doesn't start on the one either. It all starts in it's such a strange place. And the best way to learn those parts is to take the whole thing and slow it down. Like literally take that piece as a chunk. I have to practice flowing out of the out of this bit. One sec, I can't see if you guys can hear my voice. You can hear my voice. Yes, I have to practice getting out of that bit. The transition is the key part there. So practicing going from the earlier bit through the little fill, from that into da ding 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 da ding ding. And that first stack that I'm hitting is the start of the groove. Check the mics. Mics are on. It's this one. It's just going to be making noise. Like when I'm hitting this, you guys are going to be hearing that through through there quite loud because it's a little lapel mic. But if you want me to talk and explain stuff at the same time, then unfortunately, you're going to hear the plastic. Yep, you're definitely going to hear the plastic sound of drum. Unfortunately, you can't have a vocal mic that doesn't pick up drums at the same time. I'm going to have to do MIDI voice. Right? We need MIDI AIJ voice on on all of these videos moving forwards. But sorry, guys. Sorry. Okay, I'm muted. It's funny, there's like a 30-second delay between what I'm doing and what you guys are hearing. I need to be able to hear myself. I can't hear myself talk because what's going on is... how would I do this? I could do this, I just need another cable. I'll do it next time. The way that I can tell if this mic's on when I'm recording a lesson is I can hear myself talk in these. At the moment, I can't do that because you guys are getting a mix which has got no metronome, and I'm getting a mix that has metronome. But for me to hear this mic, it's plugged into that computer over there and coming back to me. It's all stuff you don't need to worry about, basically. Basically, you don't need to know all this. This is J problems. This is future J problems. I just need to, like, fix it. Think about it a bit more before I go live. But I didn't do that. because I was eating until 9 minutes to 4 and the stream was at 4. So I just went live and I'm like, oh, you know what, it'd be cool if I test drive, if I crash test dummy this new microphone setup live on a stream. So that's what I did. Nikki plays guitar. How are you feeling the atmospheric genty bit in Natural Disaster after the I won't belong bit? I don't know what the I won't belong bit is. How am I feeling the atmospheric genty bit in Natural Disaster? You're going to have to give me a time point or something, a couple of minutes into the song or whatever it is, and then I can skip to it. You can tell me if I'm in the right place. After the tempo change. That I need more detail there. Do you mean after the mod? There's like a... Oh, a minute. That's like saying, look. I was like, what? And you're like, look. Look. What are you looking at? Look. Just look. All right. You mean this bit? So that bit, this, all of that stuff, the right hand is playing a polyrhythm off of the metronome, which is where I'm hearing. So I'm hearing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the snare is on the 3 of that 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So 4, 4. It's all 4, 4. Snare is landing on the 3. That's how you know it's 4, 4. The right hand, normally the right hand is just going to be keeping quarter notes if you're the drummer. The right hand in that pattern is doing da, 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 right? So against the metronome, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm doing that. Da, 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 da. Nice cup of tea, nice cup of tea. Nice cup of tea, da, 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 right? Nice cup of tea, that's a 2/3 polyrhythm. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 1, 2. 2/3 polyrhythm, that's what's going on between those two things. So that doesn't make it any easier to play, but that's at least telling you what's going on at a theory level. And it is just 4, 4 though, that's the thing to remember. Even though it might not sound like it is, I did a whole lesson, a whole course that's literally covering this type of thing, right? It's short. This is the thing I was just talking about. It's coming out on Monday. where like syncopation in music, in drumming, just means something is oddly timed, right? So instead of playing like 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you might play 1. Like, the microphone's on, so you guys are getting clicks and pads and bullshit. But anytime the drums are doing something that isn't just like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're putting things in a strange place, it gets easy for people to confuse the intended pulse at that point. So the intended pulse is the time signature, the metronome that I'm hearing. Typically, your right hand is going to be counting that intended pulse. So even when you got all these crazy things going on in a Tesseract song, the right hand or the pedal hat they're kind of keeping the beat neat. They're keeping something down that makes sense. But then in certain grooves, so that section of Natural Disaster, there's a bit in Sacrifice that's mental, there's bits in Legion that are mental, there's bits in like just about every Tesseract song that's doing something that's like, what's going on? Very often though, when you dial it back and remove the thing that's complex about it, everything else falls kind of onto a grid. And you can then use that to figure out what the time signature is. So in Sacrifice, like again, the complex bit that everyone might know. Let's find it. Before that. Everything there was just 4/4 until that little fast bit at the end. So all of the that craziness, it's 4/4 in the background. I'm just hearing tick 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 tick, and then it only changes when I get to the hi-hat bit, because there's a little fast section where it goes to catch up. We call them typewriter riffs, because you're playing, and then start again. You're playing, start again. You have to restart the groove. So we call those ones typewriter riffs, and those are when we will have to do a very quick, like 5/8, 7/8, 9/8 thing to quickly catch us back up to start the groove again. But most of the time, it's a 3. Or it's a 4 that we're hearing in the background. Jose, Palos, why don't I have tattoos? Because I don't. I've just never wanted one, really. I've thought about it when I was like 20, and then I was like, I don't know, there's nothing that I want. And I guess I was just thinking about it too hard. I know some people just get one, and then that starts it like, oh, okay, I've got a tattoo now, I'll just keep getting things. But I was like, nah, if I'm going to put something on my body, I want it to have meaning. I never found anything that had enough meaning for me to stamp it on my body forever, so I didn't ever do it. But like Dan's got some tattoos in the band. James got some. Like, he got to his mid-40s and was just like, fuck it, I'm getting tattoos. And he got one for his band Cage Fight, then he got the Sonder Planets thing on the back of his leg, and then he got a tiny little kebab on the inside of his leg, which is hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. I used to think I wanted them, but I don't care now. I just don't want any. But that's a good question. What we're saying, thanks for all the wonderful music. You're quite welcome. You're currently working on Legion. You make up some nonsense rhyme to add to the rhythm in the A section as a memory aid, which works surprisingly well. Honestly, I think whatever works for you to remember these complex things is the way to do it, right? If there was one way, everyone would know it. But then I suppose there's this idea that is going around that is so true. That's like, if more information was the answer, we'd all be billionaires and we'd have six-pack abs. Do you know what I mean? That idea that like just knowing what you need to do isn't the answer. You've actually got to turn up and do it. You got to be who you are, be who you say you are in public, but in private, you've got to actually turn up and do the work. And that's the hardest thing, honestly. That is the hardest thing, is turning up for anyone, I think, and getting past the point where you need to force yourself, where like discipline is a difficult thing. Same with drum practice. As much as I help people get into a good routine with practice, I help my students through it. Yeah, I like it's still hard sometimes. I'll find an excuse to do anything other than sit with the difficult thing, even though after doing the difficult thing for 20 minutes, I'll have got it quite a bit further and I'll feel great about it. That's just human brains. Have I ever had to study for songs in a short amount of time? Yeah. So, Legion. All right, we were talking about Legion a moment ago. So you guys will probably know this bit. If I can just find it. I'll just play it. All right, the bit I was talking about. That thing, oh my days. So I had to learn that in like a day. We were in the studio. I bet you all know this because I've told this story a few times, but we were in the studio tracking the album, and we got the last couple of days to go. That song wasn't a song. We had this demo rattling around that Dan had got a couple of vocal ideas for, but we hadn't fleshed it out into anything yet, so I hadn't spent any time with it other than listening to it every now and then. You know, I hadn't sat behind the kit and learned anything about how to play it. So luckily though, I've got a good method for learning things quite quickly. And full disclosure, this method does work very, very, very well, but I've also got 30 years of playing drums behind me. So there's an amount of there's like a default amount of ability that I've got at this point, right? You can give me anything to play on the drums and I'll be able to do some of it, versus someone that's like intermediate or starting out on the drums. So I create a visual asset, which is the MIDI scrolling along on a screen, right? I program in the part that I need to see into Cubase. So this is Cubase. I haven't got any programmed drums in here, I don't think. Actually, that's a lie. I'm sure I do have some programmed drums. Let's see. Do I have programmed drums? I guess I don't have any programmed drums. Anyway, I hope you could hear me there. I've got no idea if you could hear me when I was talking. That was Cubase. I create a programmed version of what I'm working on there, which is, that means just the drums, right? I'm just putting it into a computer, so the computer plays it back to me. Then that gives me the visual thing that I need to see. So in the way that like people in the olden days would have used notation, I know people still use notation, but in the way that people would have used notation to read the music, I think an easier way of doing that, a more modern way of doing it, is to use MIDI, because it's just dots on a screen, right? You don't need to have any knowledge. I don't know how to read music. I don't have knowledge of music theory particularly. So I never used notation to get better at the drums, because it was just static on a piece of paper. It didn't help me, because there was another level of understanding that I wasn't interested in figuring out. However, when there's a timeline scrolling across and the timeline rolls over a dot and that dot makes a snare drum or a kick drum or a cymbal or whatever, if you're listening to what that's producing and watching it in real time slowed down, then the pattern starts to form. So if I might listen to it at speed quite a few times first to like get the vibe of what I've got to play, slow it down to about 50%, and then watching that while listening to it gives me the resolution to be able to place everything a bit more precisely. And it might be that I just cover the first couple of bars and I'll get that to a point where I can move with it. And then I'll add the third bar and the fourth bar. The loop points vary depending on what it is that I'm learning. But that technique for learning is very good. And you'll find that in 20, 30, 40 minutes of doing that focused, you'll get so much more down than you ever thought possible. But you have to create the asset up front. You have to be able to control it from behind the kit, which is why I got my mouse here. You have to have a screen in front of you in wherever you're learning. So we're in the studio. I've got about 2 days left before I have to fly home. And they decide we want to try and record and create this song Legion that didn't exist. So we had everything up to the bit I just played, up to that mental chorus. But then after that, none of it existed. But the problem for me wasn't that none of it existed. It was that I couldn't play. Couldn't play that. That was way too difficult to try and play. The coordination required to do the ride ostinato over the top of the kick stuff, everything else that's going on in that groove was just way too much. So I created myself an asset and I put it on a big projector in front of me in the studio, and I broke it down in little sections. So the first section was something like, and then we went on to something like, and I just followed that process, adding another section each time until I could get all the way through it. And then we recorded it. So I did that in the evening before we were tracking for about 45 minutes. Then I did it again the next morning, and then we tracked it. That is the probably the highest pressure I've been under before in a studio to get that down. It was insane, but I tried not to freak out because I knew that that process would work. Like, even though I knew I was tracking it the next day and I went to bed not able to play it, there's this amazing thing that happens, right? When you spend focused time learning something, then get a good night's sleep and come back to it the next day, the consolidation of that memory, it's like if you've had good sleep, it comes back stronger. So you're able to kind of pick it up the next day. It's like a relay race. It's like you yesterday is passing you the baton, and you're grabbing it and you're able to just go. And sometimes even from a faster point, because you were getting tired the day before, right? You were passing yourself that thing and you were kind of getting to the end of it and then having to stop. You pick up the next day, fire on fire, just going for it. And that's what happened. And I was able to get it up to speed, and I was able to stop referencing the screen pretty quickly the next day. So try that. Like, if anyone here is like struggling with their like learning difficult things, but you want to learn to do difficult things on the kit, then instead of like going for these mammoth sessions where you're trying to do hours and hours and hours and hours, right? Dedicate, like, if you are practicing for hours, dedicate a 30 minute window in that session to just doing something that is very difficult that you haven't done before, like to a new level of coordination, a new level of whatever it is. It can be working on speed, but speed's just more about stamina building, and that's just about putting in the hours, unfortunately. But in terms of pattern recognition and getting patterns down, if you're coming from a decent intermediate base as a drummer and you've got some abilities already, then that process for learning will expedite the learning process for whatever it is that's a complex pattern that you're trying to learn. And I'm not the only person that works for, because I teach that to my students. Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy how well that works. So think about it, right? Just think about doing that next time. I'll do it for my lessons. Literally, for the lessons that I'm working on, I'll program in the ideas first so that I can talk about what's happening, because I can see it on a grid. It just makes it all easier. If I can see what I'm talking about, I'm not guessing whether it's an eighth note or whatever. I can see what's going on. It's also easier to explain to someone because you can't always see it on notation. Like, notation isn't obvious when something's a polyrhythm and how, like, where something repeats, but you can very easily see it in MIDI, which is kind of the next tool that I'm working on for the website, which is like a custom MIDI player so that we can do all of this stuff in the site rather than sending people off to do it in a DAW. I feel like that's the biggest point of resistance for people at the moment. It's like, learn to use a DAW. Oh, for fuck's sake, I don't want to do that. I wouldn't want to do that. If I wasn't trying to compose, I was just trying to learn. I wouldn't want to have to learn to use a flipping extra software. I just want to do it all in one place. So I want to try and create that place. But yeah, Fen, thank you, Fen. Fen will tell you, because he's been learning lots of new things on the drums with me for the past 5 months, and will continue to do so for the next 6 or so. But it's a really solid process. If you want to learn more about that, go to jpostones.com, get yourself a free trial, check out the practice routines course. It's like 5 short lessons that will kind of give you these tools in a bit more detail. So go and check that out. jpostones.com, get yourself a free trial, 7-day free trial. If you like what you see there, then hang out a bit more while you're there. Check out the, what you call it. In fact, I'll just show you. It's easier than flipping talking about it, isn't it? So you'll go here, jpostones.com, and you'll have this one here, practice routines. That's the one you want to go to. I need to log in. Let's log in as me. You guys get to see all my emails and passwords now. If I get loads of emails to my private email address now, I'm going to know it's only you guys. It's also not that difficult to guess my private email address, is it? So what you want to do is go there and check out the practice routines course there, and then this one, Practical Guide to Modern Drumming. There's also a practice routine lesson in there. This is going to give you like a good lesson to focus on every day for about a week, or if you want to spread that out, as I recommend, do it 4 days a week over 2 weeks. That one is like the accompanying video to the book that I put out a couple of months ago. Go check it out. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. I'm going to play a song for you, and I'd love to get some more questions from you guys in the chat if you have the brain power to summon them. Right, this one is called. Let's do this one. This one's a fan favourite. Clearly I skipped leg day. That is why we practice the drums. All right, Ozzy, how you doing? I don't even have a water. I was looking down the side here for some water and I don't have one. Damn it! Let's shut that noise off, shall we? Garn's drums kit sounds amazing. Are you using a preset from Infinity Grid? You betcha! Yeah, I'll show you. Here we go. So, for anyone wondering what the drum sounds are, they are my drum sounds. It's my literal drum kit. Look how beautiful it is. Ah! So, I released this pack with this, sample library with Tune Track last year in November. And we worked on it November the year before. And it's flipping brilliant. This is, we did 3 kits. This is the acrylic kit, which is the one I use on Live with Tesseract. We did a Purple Heart DW and we did a Maple Mahogany. And the one that I like, it's called the Infinity Grid if you want to download it. And I like using the Hybrid State kit. That one is the flipping drum kit of dreams. It's so good. It's so flipping good. So like, it's just a nice sounding drum kit. It's how my instruction, because I worked with a guy that I know really well, and I wanted to just make the kit sound how it feels to me when I'm sat behind the kit, but obviously not disregard like the let's call it nostalgic Tesseract sound, right? So there is kind of a sound I suppose you associate with Tesseract, but I don't want that like overproduced sound. I want it to sound like I'm behind my kit in a lush sounding room. That's what I want. That's exactly what we got. And it's flipping great. And there's a bunch of presets from Steve, the guy that engineered the session. He's a good friend. And Ackle did a bunch of presets in there as well. You can go and check it out. I don't think it's going to break the bank for those of you who are into this kind of thing. And especially if you're playing on one of these types of kits, it's going to just upgrade everything about it. So, last song I played was Wellbeing. I've played Wellbeing. What else have I played? I've played a bit of Legion, Wellbeing, Natural Disaster a little bit. Ben, you'll chuck a compositional question. I read that as computational. Compositional question. Do I have any transitional tips from going from section A to section B when they sound drastically different? Yeah, you got to work on bridging the gap. Really, when it comes to composition, right, it's a process of trying one thing and asking yourself the question if you like it. And if you've just got that thing on loop, you're going from point A to point B, it might be that you're just like, because we do this with fills, like all the time when we're in the studio, like what sounds good, what sounds bad, oh, can we get like 10 fill options? And you just like do a bunch of different fills. We did that with Legion. I just did a bunch, and what's the other one? Burden. Like, we just recorded a bunch of different things, and you have to go and listen to it and decide if you like it. And going from point A to point B, it depends on what the difference is, but it might be that it's a big, like a tempo. It might be quite a drastic tempo change. So you could begin to modulate the tempo that you're going up into. If it made sense to do that. If it was just a random tempo change, then maybe you wouldn't do that. But we do that in Tesseract quite a bit, where you'll suddenly suggest a tempo and then we go into the new tempo, and it usually is the difference between a 2 and a 3, like a ratio, the whole polyrhythm ratio thing that I taught in the masterclass. But yeah, generally speaking, it's something that you get good at the more you do, and you just have to go from point A to point B, try something. Do you like it? If you don't like it at all, do something completely different. What will happen? You know, same thing happens, right? If I'm journaling ideas, and I've got a cool idea down, or I've got a rough idea for what it is that I want to write out. Like if I'm doing when I'm coming up with a lesson, or when I'm just writing, because I'll just write sometimes. I'll have ideas, and what's in the way between this good idea and this good idea is a bunch of rubbish ones. But you've got to get them down to be able to move on to another good idea. And sometimes with writing, especially, anyone that writes, so I'm sure they'll agree with this, you have to literally write everything, write absolutely everything. Get the bad ideas out your brain so that they're on paper and gone. Like once they're out, they're gone. And then you're thinking about the next thing, and that same idea hopefully won't keep coming up. That's what I do. Same kind of thing in the studio. You go between idea and idea and idea and idea. You never know what it's going to be until you've gone back and listened to them. And you listen to them a few times in the control room, and you go, awful. And then you go, that's pretty good. Let's save that one. And there might be, from a few minutes just playing the same fill, like 20 different ideas, and something about the energy of one take, even though it might not be the most perfect thing that you've written, something about the energy of it was right. You've got a load of Juno fill variations following that method. That's exactly it. That's a good one. Yeah, that whole... all of those things. Yeah, same thing. Really, the funny thing about that, which you'll have seen me do before, is like you remove the kicks especially from that Juno fill, and it's crap. Like you remove the rubbish. Not rubbish. So much more interesting when you've got all of the kicks in between, because it adds like, oh, what's going on? It's shaking your brain around. So adding something to a pattern. I know that isn't just like, okay, Jay, can you just add kicks in between this pattern, because that would be sick. Like I know that that's not reasonable to ask most people to do, because that's a ridiculous thing to try and play. But if you've practiced the technique to do that, it's not quite as ridiculous to try and do. Yeah, try things, dude. If it's like related to stuff that you're doing for the end of the masterclass, send me some things, some ideas. We can have a conversation about this stuff if you want. Like I'm totally down for that. If you want to have a private conversation, we can crack open a glass of wine and get into it. Because that's what happened with flipping Burden. We got flipping red wine drunk, and we put down like the take for that song. So that's what I'm saying. 3 glasses of red wine, and then we did it, and it sounds amazing. So sometimes maybe a substance is required. That's what you need to do. Anyway, Danny, you use a DW Collector Series mahogany? Yeah, you do. I had one of those. It was very good. It's a very nice kit. I don't know what I'll get as my next DW kit, because when I've finished the studio up the garden here, I do want to put a lovely wooden kit in it. But I don't know what wood. I kind of do know what wood, actually. I want a Purple Heart kit, because it sounded so good. That's the one that sounds amazing. That's the one that I'm using now. The sounds here, but I don't know if they do Purple Heart anymore. I think it might be one of those woods that was like, you got to stop using this wood because the way that we get it is not sustainable. And I don't know, or maybe I'll have to ask them. But I don't want to look into a purple drum. That's my issue. I want the inside of the drum to have like a final layer of something else. It could be a brown wood or it could be a lighter wood. I don't really mind. Maybe a darker brown wood. I don't want the final play to be rosewood because I don't like looking into a purple drum. I decided that when I was playing, because I use see-through heads, and there was something aesthetically about that I was just like, nah, don't know about that. But tonally, sounded great. And if you're spending that kind of money on a kit, you kind of want it to be the best of every world, right? You know, you don't want to spend that kind of money and be like, oh, don't like looking at my toms. I want it to be fantastic, even if it is purple on the inside. We're all purple on the inside. Anyway. Burden's one of your favourites. It's one of my favourites. Can't play it, or haven't played it since we recorded it. We were talking about that the other week. But it is a good one. Write drunk, edit sober. Tale as old as time. Yeah. Or, like, ideally, just don't get drunk at all. I tell you what, I wish I could just enjoy delicious beers without any of the side effects of enjoying a delicious beer. I like a nice double IPA or an Imperial IPA. God, that is so tasty to me. But it just ruins me the next day. I had two beers the other night because we've been working outside all day. It was a really nice day. I wanted to celebrate, and I sat outside. It was super lush, and flip me, I had a terrible night's sleep. I know this because I keep making the same mistake. But man, it tastes so good. Anyone else with me on that? You got a beverage or something that you like to eat, but you shouldn't like to eat because it's so good. Anyway, I really want one now. Straight up, I do. It's delicious. Oh. Anyway. I had a point there, something else I was going to get into, and I've completely lost it. Oh, tell you what I did this week. Do you want to know a life hack that I discovered this week? It's a really good one. It's not easy though. Well, actually, it is very easy once you've done it. But it's the ripping off of the Band-Aid that's actually it resists quite hard because we're all addicted to it. I deleted Instagram and Facebook from my phone. And do you know what's happened? Nothing has happened. Nothing negative. The world still spins. Everyone's still posting bullshit. Everyone's still angry. Everyone's still wasting time on the toilet. But not me. Oh no, sir. I am clear-minded. It's gone from my phone. I can still post. I can post from my computer. I can get in and I can check messages, but what I can't do is doom scroll on my phone. I was watching a movie the other night, and I found that I couldn't not reach for my phone to just quickly look at whatever was on Instagram every 30 minutes of the movie or something. I'd just go instinctively just reach over to have a look. No one's messaged me. I was just like, no, this is stupid. There's no way. And I listen to a lot of podcasts when I'm doing the gym and whatever, and they keep saying, a bunch of conversations keep coming up where it's like, just delete the apps, and then you can keep going on them when you're on your laptop or whatever, but it gives that much more resistance. You kind of have to be intentional about going on there, right? I'm posting all the time because that's automated. I'm not posting. It's on autopilot, for God's sake. The goal is just numbers, right? It's just a numbers game. So I've got the autopilot thing set up, but I'm not going on there to waste time. It's too delicious when I'm on there. I can't help it. It's like the most delicious Imperial IPA I could possibly imagine. And it doesn't give me a hangover, but it does shorten my life and it does ruin my sleep. And it's not social media anymore. It started out as social media where we were socializing with each other and you were in contact with people. Now, your attention is the currency. And that's it. Like, they've got you because you can just keep seeing the next thing and it's brilliant. Oh man, get off it. Just delete the app from your phone. And once it's gone, you'll be like, oh, that was actually surprisingly easy. I promise you. I promise. Surprisingly easy. And you know what you'll do instead? Anything else. Whatever you do instead with that time is way better. Way better. Dude, Fen, I've got one for you on YouTube. So I've got a little Chrome extension for YouTube that closes off all of the like watch next bullshit, the little side window of things that they want you to click on next. Because mine's just like Elden Ring and people painting Warhammer really good, and then maybe a drummer, and like it's just loads of that. And whenever I go on YouTube to post something that's like something that I've made, I very quickly get sidetracked by that stuff. I go on a little side quest, and then I'm super deep, and I'm like, well, that was a waste of time. What have I learned? Oh, someone speed ran Elden Ring in 30 seconds. Like, great. All right. The only time I allow myself now to just sit and watch YouTube is when I'm eating my breakfast. It's going to sound crazy. I've got a standing desk. I stand at my desk. I push my keyboard back. That is when I get to watch bullshit on YouTube. And then as soon as I'm done, I have to close the tab. Because even if the tab's open, when I'm working, when I'm exporting a video, it's like 20, 30 seconds to export the video. That's enough time to get bored. And I'll flick back to that tab. And then I'll be looking at it. So close it all down. Like, remove resistance. Remove friction. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Let's get anyone that does that in chat right now, that gets rid of Instagram and Facebook, I want to see someone say that they've just done it, because you will have a better life. I promise you. You will miss nothing and you will gain everything. Ozzy, can I ask something really special? Can you play Beneath My Skin and Mirror Image? It's one of the most special ones. Oh. I can try. I haven't got it loaded on the computer, so I'll have to... let me see. It will take me a second to get it on here. Give me a second. Let me see if I even can do that, or if I'm just... gosh, let me think. I need to get to my Minel folder, because I did it with Minel, didn't I? Because that'd be the quickest way to do it. Dropbox. Minel. Shoot 2. Oh. No, that's shoot. That was the wrong one. Shoot 1 is what I need. Well, that's not helpful. Let's just search Beneath My Skin. That'll find it. That has to find it. Oh, Beneath My Skin, audio click, Beneath My Skin, drumless. Sick. That has got to be it. So, final. I'll have it in a second, guys, and then I'll be able to do it. Okay, Beneath My Skin, drumless. Oh, I need to download the files, of course. I need to do that. Let's make available offline. And then again with the metronome. I hope this works. Please work. Please work first time. Oh! Nope, it's not that one. Oh, this is so confusing. No, no, not that either. Come on, I just clicked on the wrong thing. At least you guys get to see me fumble around. That's one of my students playing it. You'd think I'd just have all of this in one place, and I was working on that, but... I do want to play it now, though. Okay, Beneath My Skin. Did I get it? That looks like it worked. Copy. Come on, why doesn't this ever just work? Make available offline. But then they disappear. Oh, no, they're coming back now. Okay, there we go. Well, that didn't work. That's just one little blip. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. This is being stupid. Oh, okay, that's good. That's good news. That worked. We've got the audio. I now just need to get the metronome, which should be simple enough. I've got this thing called audio click right here. If I drag that in, I think we're in business. I think we're in business. Come on. Yeah. Yes. Flipping yes. Ah, hang on. I had loop on. Alright, I'm turning the microphone off. I haven't played this in a very long time, so I'm going to give it my best. Oh, that was close.
From deep within my skin
The vocals are so loud,
and
damn
it
it.
just might be enough to drag me under beneath the waves. Take another bite from the worthless corpse. Take another bite from me and wait your turn, and it just might be enough to drag me under. Take another bite from this worthless corpse, and it just might be enough to drag me under.
Very, very close. Considering I haven't played that since the Minel video, it wasn't too bad. Getting those fills in is something I'd need to practice a bit to get good at again. But there we go. That was Beneath My Skin. Might be one of my favourite songs off of that record. In terms of vibes, it's flipping... It's a good one, that is. That whole section. Yeah! Flipping vibes over that bit. I'm playing it over here, but on the album, it's over here. Something like that. I can't remember now. That whole thing is flipping insane. But again, lots and lots of fun to play. That one, I think there's a playthrough for that one on the website with the notation and all of that. Something I changed on the site recently as well. Let's just double check that. I'm pretty sure it is. If you go to the Tesseract section on the site, there's, let's see, tourniquet, Beneath My Skin. Yeah, there's a notation and everything there. I put Sacrifice up here for you guys the other day, but I didn't tell anyone. So for those who want to figure that one out, Sacrifice is all here with all of the notation and everything, and it plays along. So you can figure that one out. But yeah, I've separated it out so that there's a specific Tesseract section. It's either just the notation, or for some lessons, for some it's like a whole course, like the Nocturne course with all of the lessons. These are all lessons on how to play that crazy song. Yeah, go and check that out. jpostones.com/your mum. It's not that bit, it's just jpostones.com. So, should play some more drums for you guys. Ozzy, it was my pleasure, mate. Yeah, sorry it took a minute to get there, but at least I had the flipping skills to bring it in like that. That was a whole thing. When can you play the songs from the Polaris album? I've got 2 of them on here. I've got Hexes and I've got Dystopia. I just haven't... I've shown you guys before. I've basically got to carry on making this file. I just haven't had the bandwidth to work on it since I started doing it. But this is like all of the Tesseract songs, all of them, with all of the tempo changes and all the time signature changes. Here's me saying it's all 4/4 and it clearly isn't, but... Yeah, We could do a little bit of this. Should we do this? A little bit of dystope. Oh no! The time signature's all off. What's happened there? Weird. Hang on. Maybe I can't do it. Ah, something's happened here and it's all got dragged out. Hang on. Let me see if that fixes it. Nope, that didn't fix it. Let me see if this fixes it. Okay, this might fix it. Let's try this again. Have you guys got metronome? No, you don't. All right, let's go. metronome's completely off, so I'm flying without wings. That's a crap song. I'm flying blind. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, something happened and my metronomes have all gone flipping haywire. So that's not great. Might have happened when I tried to bring in Beneath My Skin, so I'll have to go back and work out what's happened here, because I've got crazy time signature changes all over the place. That shouldn't be there. Can I just like Control Z a bunch of these? Apple Z, maybe? I don't know. That's a job for another day. Dan, drums and rides. What you saying? Hello. Hope you're having a nice time, my friend. Guys, we're getting towards the end of the stream. So I'm going to play another song as long as my metronome isn't completely broken. And if anyone's got any questions in chat, I'll be happy to try and take them for you in the last 10 minutes or so that we got. What we're saying, Fen, mate, go and have a good one, and I'll catch you real soon. Nick DC, how long does it take you to write a song for yourself, roughly? It's all different times, all different things. Sometimes a song happens in a day. Other times a song comes together and it takes literally a decade. There isn't a time limit that we put on these things necessarily, other than we've got to deliver music to a record label. It just tends to be that music happens when we put intentional focus on it, right? So we'll go away to a studio for a few days. Generally quite a lot happens in those few days, but then in between I'll just get a random message one day and there'll be a song from Ackle in my inbox and I'm like, holy cow, and it sounds amazing. And then I have to learn it, which is what's happening at the moment, because I'm recording drums in April. Yes, I am. Next month I go over to the UK to record some new drums for new songs. And I've got to learn them this month. It's going to be good though. They sound very, very good. They do sound very good. And you guys will be hearing them with your ears in the not too distant future. More on that soon. The Infinity Grid page has some cool new samples. There you go. Go and check it out. All right, let me see if I can do a song that isn't broken. I don't know why this would be completely broken the way it is. Let's see. Oh no! What have I done now? Let's do... Hopefully this isn't broken. To wrap things up, this would be nice. we tour with our next run? I have no idea. The Spice Girls. How about the Spice Girls? I actually do know, but I can't say. gent eventually pays the rent, but it takes you 20 years to try and flipping heck. Actually, that's a lie. Tesseract doesn't pay the rent, but being in Tesseract helps because people come to me for things. If I wasn't in Tesseract, I'd just be another bald guy playing drums. So there we go. All right, guys, thank you for your attention span. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being awesome. You guys asking about Matt Halpin and Tigran. I haven't heard the stuff. I imagine it's completely bonkers though. But yeah. I will be back on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time if you guys are around for that. And in the meantime, as always, jposthomes.com. Go and check it out. There's a 7-day free trial. We have many drum lessons for you to choose from, including Tesseract bass lessons, one-off lessons, which loads eventually. Look at this. And there's a lesson of the day if you don't want to worry about picking, because I know that option paralysis is a thing. And then, of course, there are courses, and we're building out the courses platform with a new course dropping on Monday, looking specifically at syncopation. For a good place to get started, check out the Practical Guide to Modern Drumming. This syncs up with the book that I'll put out. You can get the book for free. If you go to any of my socials, just click on the book and you'll find that. And yeah, man, have an amazing week. I hope you accomplish a goal or two. And just be kind to people. You don't know what people are going through. Be nice to them. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.